Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So we're going to be working on this Art Impressions pop cards, and we're using the elephant pop card, and we're just going to work on the actual pop card and everything in the inside. We're not really going to finish the outside, but just to focus on putting this all together. So those were the Spectrum Noirs that we're going to be using. I'm just inking up all the stamps that we're going to be using to put together the elephant. And I'm using the Misty so that way I can stamp it twice in case there's any areas that didn't stamp clear or nice and sharp. So after putting that down twice, I'm grabbing the legs of the elephant and we are going to stamp that again because you need two for putting this together, because you want to make sure that the elephant has four legs. So we have to do the back with the legs twice, okay? And that second one I did, there was a little bit of a smudge, so I just stamped it again and made sure that the stamp on the inside was clean, so that way I could color. And for the body of the elephant, we're just using, I have 4 grays out. And my particular grays, because I did test this first before doing the video, I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing as far as putting it all together. So my grays, my 2 light grays, were getting low. I could feel like, they were drying out. So right here on the lines that are already established within the stamp, I laid down the medium color and along the top, because this is going to be our back 2 legs, so I wanted to create the shadow for the back piece. And I think, yes, I wound up using IG 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to use the same combo on all the pieces. So we have the face, which I'm going to work on next. I was just trying to see if I could find another gray that would go with it, but I was like, you know what, I think I can make it through using all 4. I think I can get this laid down. So as far as the coloring goes, keeping it very simple, using the 3 colors for my shadows. And I'm not the greatest where it comes to light direction and, which way your shadows go. But I was trying to create obviously more of a shadow on one side than the other. And by going over the entire thing, it really blends out those 2 darker colors. Even if you use just the IG2 instead of the IG1. And like I said, we're just on this one, I'm putting it towards the front, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. It is going to darken some because we're going over the entire image, but I'm not doing that dark shadow up on the top. I'm keeping it lighter so that way, there's some distance, or difference, I should say. The next is the nose. And the nose has like lines and definitely areas where you can make it darker because of shadow, with the nose being wrapped up on itself. And once I got the pieces done on that, I'm coloring in the flower, the hat, and the ruffle with the fluorescent colors. And so that's FL2, FL1, and FL3, which is like a yellow, orange, and a red. And then I used CG4 in the green for the stem, and it's going to be for the back of the hat. And this stamp set is really awesome because it comes with the stamps and the dies. And for the ears, I didn't show on here cutting out the ears, but I will show you them separate when we get ready to go put them together. There's no stamp for the ears, it's just the die cut pieces, so you're going to have to color those pieces to match, you know, what you've done to the body. And I actually did that ahead of time when I was doing my practice elephant. Once everything is filled in with color, we're going to lay down our dies and cut these out. Now with these dies, they do create a white border around the outside edge, and I find it difficult sometimes. One side is closer to the lines than the other, so what I suggest is line it up as best you can where it looks like it's going to cut as even as possible. And then once you have the pieces cut out, if you don't, you know, if one side is closer than the other, then you can just take your scissors and fussy cut and make it a nice clean image. So we're just running this through our Cuttlebug, and right here I ran it through once. I'm taking some of the pieces off. You can see it kind of all the way over there on the right hand side, the ruffle and the hat. And before I conclude with that, I'm gonna tape down again the leg die so I could cut out that second leg. Alright, so we have the two legs, the flowers, the ruffle, we have the face, the nose, and the party hat, and then off to the side I have, that's the die, and there's the ears. And what I had to do on one of them, I had to flip it over for the so that way the ears would lay correctly. And right here we're just doing a quick fussy cut in just to kind of clean up those edges on the legs and I want to say the face. All the body parts I cut around the edge. The flower, ruffle, and the hat, I left them with the border. It didn't bother me having the border. And with the border, especially with the ruffle, that gives me an area to lay down glue when we go to put everything together. Alright, so once we get everything cleaned out or cut off so that it's all even around all the sides, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right on the top edge of the ruffle, and I'm gluing that to the back of the elephant head. Alright, and I'm just, while I'm holding it, while the glue is setting, I'm just trying to get my scissors into the slits so that way, you know, it will, when it's time for the end to put this all together, the pieces, the last two pieces, I was trying to make it so they would go through the opening easier. So on the head, the two bodies, there's slots that have been cut so that you can attach it to the mechanism, which is that standalone piece that you can get to go with the pop cards. So you can see his face is starting to come together, and it's really cool to see all the parts and stuff. That's the mechanism. It has two score lines that you fold, and then these little grooves are where each of these pieces are going to sit. So the first one, I'm trying, and trust me, it took me a while to get this hooked up, but you've got to kind of wiggle it through until you get that piece all the way to that back hook. See how it's getting in there? And once it's in, you got to do it to the other side as well. So then you can see how it kind of makes a loop so that you have that flat square piece, which is where I'm putting score tapes so we can attach it later. And then I'm taking the second legs and we're going to go ahead and get that put on to the next groove, which automatically creates like a 3D effect because you now have that space between the two sets of legs. And then now for the face. When I put the head of the elephant on, I had to use the tweezers to bring the final two pieces through the opening. It was like it wanted to come through, but it was fighting it. So I found with tweezers I could grab onto it and pull it through and get it set. Alright, and just bear with me here because I had to use the scissors again to make it bigger because it was fighting, you know. I think when I watched the Sandy Allnock video, she used like a X-Acto knife. You can use whatever, you know, you have that's not going to rip up your page, because you're not trying to create super big, you know, slices there, because you want the nose to cover it, but you need a little bit more of an opening for it to come through a little bit easier. And then once those pieces are through, I'm going to fold them over on top of each other and place one of my foam squares on top, so it'll give the nose just a little bit of dimension, but it also keeps those pieces down. And then I put a little bit of the art glitter glue on the back of the flower to attach it, and then right on the bottom of the birthday hat, and attach that to the top of the head. Alright, and then we're going to grab our A2 size card, and to finish putting this together on the inside, you measure down 3 inches, and then draw your line, which is only a 1/2 inch long, move down another 1/2 inch, make the same dash, and then you're just going to snip in those 2 places. Okay, and when you open it, you're going to push it into the inside, creating your, I guess it would be like a mechanism. Okay, and then on the back of the stamp, there are instructions, but you have to cut out a piece of cardstock that is 1/2 inch by 2 inch, and you're going to attach that to that little square that we pushed through to the inside. And once you have that attached, that is what your elephant or whatever animal, or even if it's the older lady, that's what it sits on. So that way when you open it, it kind of like it's coming out to you. I think the only thing I would do different here would be the strip of paper that I'm using. The paper itself isn't a heavyweight, and with everything going on with the elephant, you would probably need something that's going to stand on its own and be strong. So I'm just, the pattern paper that was on the bottom was lifting a little bit, so I just put down a little bit of the art glitter glue and hopes that it, you know, stays down. But the paper was lifting just a little bit. Okay. So there you have it, really. A little bit of the ear sticks out when I close it, but I still like how, you know, it's coming off on the page, and it came together really easy once I got everything cut out and, you know, I could see all the pieces. But I did watch some of the videos on YouTube just so that I could make sure I was putting it together correctly, okay? So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And I'm going to have a link below to the new art impression pop cards for the boutique and for the website, if they're on the website. If they're not on there yet, I'll at least put Facebook down below, and then just keep an eye out because they'll probably be added soon. Alright, you guys, thank you so much, and you have a great day.